it's Amanda from Fun Hands-On Learning, and today I'm going to walk you through the activities I have for first grade this week. This is our first week of school, and I'm going to talk to you about the literacy and the math activities that we have. Alright, so for this week we are focusing on, I decided to focus on long vowels, so I took out the long vowel activities from my Phonics4Reading program, and what we have been doing a lot with the flashcard sticks is I will take them out and hold them up, and he will have to do a memory practice with these. So he is trying to memorize the different combinations of vowels and how they are put together. So for example, to make long U, we put together U and I, but we can also make a U consonant E pattern. So he's trying to learn the different patterns. And this one has something on it. So what I do is I'll hold up the stick, like this one for example, and I will say, U in fruit, U-I, and he will say it. U in fruit, U-I. E in feed, E-E. I in hide, I consonant E. U in clue, U-E. O in rose, O consonant E. You get the idea. And we'll just kind of chant through them in the mornings as a phonics practice, and he's really been able to, start memorizing the patterns. That way when he goes to write words or read words, he pretty much knows how they're spelled as well as how to read them. So for example, this one would be U in tune, U consonant E. E in leaf, E-A. I in bike, I-E. And you can tell on this card we have marked the I long and the E silent because when we add E to the end of the word, it tells the first vowel to say its name. So anyways, we've been going through the patterns with our flashcards just like that. And then what I have been doing is I have been holding up some of the flashcard sticks that don't have the pictures, and he has to read them. So I'll hold it up and he'll read save and pie, and if he reads them correctly, I just hand them to him, and he tries to make a big pile of them. So these are the phonics evaluation strips from my Phonics4Reading program. I also have these in a separate download, so you can just get these as something separate. And last year what I did is I was just printing them out on paper and then taking it as just a quick test to see where my kiddos were at as far as phonics goes. However, this year I decided to put them on laminate them and just put them on a ring like this, so we could kind of use them over and over again, because I didn't really need to keep a record of, I didn't really need to keep a test record since we homeschool. I'm the only one that needs to know where he's at with reading. So if you are a classroom teacher, then yes, you may want to print these out as an evaluation, as a test, but I don't need to do that. So what they are is, like for this first one, it's just letter sounds, and then it's reading short vowel words, and then it's reading long vowel words. So for example, this week, since we're working on long vowels, we would probably flip over to the oral evaluation strips for long vowels, and then he would have to read them, and I can check it off if he's read it correctly. So pale, time, note, read. Okay, so these are the Build It strips that we have been doing this week, and these are all the long vowel Build It strips. Obviously, because we're working on long vowels. That's pretty much where he left off at the end of last year's school year. We had done some things on digraphs and stuff like that in kindergarten. However, I wanted to kind of go back a little bit, and since it's only the first week of school, and just kind of review a little bit. So we went back and we're doing long vowels. So all he does with these is he uses his magnetic letters, and he has to fill them in. And what we really practice, like today for example, is when he was doing this exact card, he couldn't remember what goes with U to make the long U sound. So he had his card filled out like this, and then he was trying to figure out which vowel goes with it. And then what I did is I pulled back out our flashcards here, and I reminded him that sometimes you can spell the long U pattern U consonant E like in tune, but sometimes you can spell it U-I like in, and I pulled up one of the sticks that was U-I, which I can't find right now, but you get the idea. And then he was like, oh yeah, okay. And he remembered the pattern, and then we put in the I. But for most part, most of the patterns he was remembering. So for example, this one is cube. Now, another thing that he had trouble with, well, I shouldn't say trouble, but he was working on this morning is trying to remember if it's supposed to be a C or a K on certain words. And so this one, he remembered that this is the long U sound. So he put in his vowels first, and then he thought about the beginning. Is it a C or is it a K? And we said the rule that K comes before I and E, and C before the other three, A, O, and U. And then that helped him remember which one it was. And I have activities that work on the K and C rule. And so we just kind of reminded him of those. And we went through a bunch of these different cards, and he was just building long vowel words over and over again. And it does kind of help him because it's got the boxes here, so he can kind of see if it's a tall letter or if it's a shorter letter, and so on. Okay, so just a few other things that I have in here for him. We have been doing the Fluency Strips every single day. If you're interested in how we do these, I have lots of other videos on my channel on how we do the Fluency Strips. But you can see that we've done a handful of them already this week. And yeah, we've been doing these just every single day, and he marks the long vowels and he reads the words and so on. And then the Flip It books, if you haven't seen these in my other videos, I will try to leave a link below to where these are. But these are just activity books where he can work on the different long vowel patterns. These all come in that same unit on long vowels, and you can see how he's been doing some of them with dry erase markers. Sometimes we use manipulatives with these as well instead of the dry erase. But those are in here. And then the last thing that's in here, well, in this bin, is the long vowel fill it in math. So he has to fill in the pattern, and then he also fills in the other letters. Okay, then some of the activity centers that I have in his box for this week. I have a building long vowel burgers. This one comes in that same long vowel unit, and he did this one earlier, and I think I took a picture of him doing this yesterday, and if I did, I'll try to remember to insert it in the video so you can just kind of see it. But what he does basically is he has to match the patterns up for the long vowels. And so here we have a long E. So we have an OA pattern on this side, and then all of the pieces match. So you give them the pieces, and then they have to put them in the right place. So like C, tree, bee, seed, feed, and sleep go with this one. And then goat, soap, toad, coat, boat, and toast go with long O. And it makes a burger when you're done, because you got your ketchup and your cheese and your mustard and your lettuce and your meat and all that. So that's what these are, and it has all of the different long O patterns for all of the, well, if you can see in there, for all of the vowels. And so you can make all sorts of different burgers, and that one was really fun for him. Another simple long vowel activity center are the clip cards that come in this unit, and he can just clip them with a clip or use a manipulative. So this one obviously is a picture of glue, so he just has to match up the words. This one is bone. So again, he can use clips, but another way to do it is he absolutely loves these erasers. These are just mini erasers, and he plays with them all the time, even when we're not doing school. So this is just another fun way that the kids can do it. So this is a road, and he could just take the eraser and cover up his answer like that. This is a baby, and the baby is cute. So we would cover up cute with one of the erasers. All right, now this activity center I threw in here is not a long vowel one, but I wanted him to do it this week just to kind of have, you know, something different other than long vowels to do. And this is a new activity center I made. It's part of my surprise back to school bundle of activities, and you can also get it separately in just a single download. But what this one practices is the double consonants. And so what they do is they pull a card, and this card, they have to decide if they are going to put LL, ZZ, SS, or FF to make a word. So for this example, this one makes the word puzzle. So they use their magnetic letters, or they can use a dry erase marker and they can write the letters. And then after they do that, they have to find the matching card that matches their word. And so in here I have like a cane, and then here I see a puzzle. So this one goes with the word puzzle. So you get the idea. There are just a handful of cards. This one would be sheriff, and then it would have FF, and then you would have to find a picture of a sheriff. This is a staff, so that actually goes with the picture that we saw of the cane. The cane is the staff. So this also can kind of work on vocabulary, and you can talk about how a staff is the same thing as a cane. You have sniff and cliff. These are the ones that have FF. Here's an SS one, chess. And then of course they would find the picture that matches after they have put there's chess, after they have put their letters in the words. There are 2 more long vowel activity centers, and I'm not going to go through them today, but like real in depth. But you can watch the video that I made on my Phonics4Reading program. I made a video all about long vowels. And so one of them is magic E words, and he clips on the magic E, and it makes new words, and then he finds the matching picture. And then the other one, he uses Play-Doh to make the words. So he would make a B with Play-Doh here, and a K with Play-Doh here, and then he would write all of the words that so that one would make bike. Then he could make fire, so he'd make the F and the R, and then he would write fire. So yeah, all of these match, use the different patterns, and then they use Play-Doh to make them. Here you can kind of see on the label how they would do it. So they would make the M and for meat and the T for meat, and then they would write it down below, and then they would make another word that makes the EA pattern. Okay, so I just have 3 more activity centers in here for him this week. One of them is just these phonics cards. I have a set of phonics cards on my website. It's this giant bundle, and it has all sorts of phonics cards. And this one is the easy sentence cards. And basically all they do is they read the sentence, and then they have to match up the picture. So this says, the cat sat, and he has to look at the pictures and decide which one shows a cat sitting, and it's this one. So he could clip it, or he could use his manipulative. This one says, hop, Pat, hop. So who is Pat, and where's Pat? Pat should be hopping, right? So here I see a bunny hopping, so that must be my answer. Mom hugs Tom. Here I see a mom hugging, so we're gonna mark it. And I'm just using these little erasers to mark it. But yeah, so there's a ton of them in here. And these ones are a lot of fun for practicing just basic sentences. Speaking of sentences, I made these simple decodable sentence books as one of my surprise activities for my back to school bundle. And these are super fun. He's just going to be reading simple sentences, so we'll just pull one out and he will just start reading. So, the cat sits on the mat. And if he needs help, there are the segmenting and blending dots on there for him, so that he can really feel confident in his reading. And I don't think he'll need too much help with these. Most of these words are short vowel words, and then there's a few sight words. If it was a sight word that can't be sounded out, I just put 1 dot, because they have to just say the whole word. Pam and Jen are pals. All the other words can be sounded out if they need it. So if they needed to sound it out, I added in the dots and the arrows for sounding out. But otherwise, a big pig in the mud. So yeah, there's just 2 books of them, just all full of simple sentences. I'll leave a link below to these if you're interested in those. Okay, and the last literacy activity I have in here, again, is working on sentences, since we've been talking about sentences. I have another activity bundle on my website that is all about reading easy sentences, and this activity comes from that. This activity, I believe, is also in my kindergarten literacy curriculum, and it's something that you would use towards the end of the school year in kindergarten. So this says picture, read, and match, and what they do is they take these are the picture cards. So these are like if you were holding a picture that you've printed out, and then these are the camera cards. Okay, you can see that. You could print these out in color if you'd prefer. I printed mine out just black and white on hot colored paper. So what they do is they take a picture card which has a sentence, and then they have to find the matching camera. So they read the picture. I see the plants and rocks, and then I have the answer card right here on top. So we would just go ahead and put that on there. and you can see how they match up, and then they just continue on. Will you find the clue? And then I have my answer right here on top. This is a little boy looking for a clue, it looks like. He's a detective. So you get the idea. The baby is cute. They have to read it, and then they have to match up the correct picture. And they just go through all of their cards, reading sentences and matching them up. And it's just got a cute photography theme. Before we move on to math, one quick thing I wanted to show you was we are using our Phonics Charts. Okay, so since we are working on long vowels, there is a chart in here on long vowels, and just gives them some different words to read. It has the matching pictures, and it has the long vowels, so we can just practice the different patterns each day in our phonics chart. And I just enjoy having these on hand and whenever we're working on different phonics activities. So, got that. Okay, moving on to math. I decided to take out the counting by 5. Took out some activities for counting to 100. I took out also some activities for addition, and then one activity to introduce fractions this week. Okay, so this activity here is a counting book, but it's counting by 5s, and I have 3 of these books. We have one for counting 10s, one for counting 5s, and one for counting 2s. And so I took out this book, and he's been practicing counting by 5s. So when he practices skip counting by 5s, he can write in the answers, and this one already has the answers in there, but so it says 5, then he has to write what comes next: 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and then 50. And so each page is kind of a little bit different. And one thing he can do with these pages is, instead of writing it with his dry erase marker, is I have this number chart. This is from Learning Resources, it says down here. And I like to use, have him use this chart and move the pieces around to fill in his answers. So this says 25, 30. His next answer would be 35. So he has to find the 35 on the chart and put it in. His next answer would be 40. 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, and his last one he has to fill in would be 70. So it's just a fun way to do it instead of using the marker. I really like this chart. It has a lot of uses to it. I'm not sponsored by any means, but it just has a lot of uses, and I think it's just something good to have on hand. All right, so my son did this activity center today, and he was flying right through it. But what this one is this comes from my Early Learners Math Curriculum, the unit on numbers to 100, and now I'm getting them all mixed up. But what it is there are different mats and different cards. I'm going to show you the one he did today. So he did the camping one today, and I thought it was a good one to do because it's summertime, and also because it's the easiest one. Maybe that's why he was flying through it today. It's the easiest one because it starts with the number 1. And what they have to do is they have to find the missing numbers on the mat. They have cards here that look like this, and you can see where he was kind of writing on them. And what they do then is they take a card, and then they look at their mat, and they find that picture. And so on the mat, he has to find the raccoon. Here's the raccoon, and then he has to decide what number is missing in that spot. So here's 15. Then something, and then 17. So the raccoon should be number 16. And then what he does is he takes his dry erase marker and he writes 16. So you can see he did that on that card. We got kind of some of them erased and some of them not. But here's the tent, and so the tent is 19. He wrote that one, you can see. And again, another thing you can do with these, the fire was supposed to be 22. And so you can see he wrote 22. But another thing you can do again with these is you can, I can move that, is again you can use this. So instead of them writing the number, if you want, you can have them place the correct number on the card, or you can just have them place it right on the mat. So here I have 21, and I can just cover up what's supposed to be there. But yeah, so this one was a lot of fun. And I'll just show you some of the other, there's different themes. So this one is the camping theme. This one is a cookout theme. This one is a pizza theme, and you can see the different pizza cards there. These go with that one. And then this one, last one, is a circus theme. And you can see those cards go with that. really quick. I'm not going to go through them too much, but I have 2 more activities from my numbers to 100 unit of my early learners math curriculum, and these ones also work on counting to 100. And so this one works on number families, and so you got like the 20 family and the 30 family and the 40 family and so on. What they do is they spin, and then if I can get it to land on one. Okay, so let's say it landed on the 30 family. Then he has to take the cards, these are the ones, for the 30 family and put them in order. Now mine are already in order, but you give them to the child mixed up, and then he has to make the 30 families. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. He has to put them all in order properly to make the 30 family. Then once he's done that, pick them up, spin again, and now I got the 20 family. So he would take the cards for the 20 family and make the 20 family on his mat. You get the idea. And they're all just cowboy themed cards. Before I go on, I forgot to show you, I wanted to show you that every single morning what we do is we use our early learners math curriculum charts. All of these charts come in my curriculum, and there's different charts for different units. But one of the charts for the counting to 100 unit looks like this. It's a hundreds chart. And we use this every single day as counting practice. So it's the very first thing we do in math is I say, okay, we're going to do math. Let's count to 100. And so we'll count 1, 2. So what we will do when we are counting is we will, when we get to the certain family, we will say that family. So for example, if we're counting and we get to 20, so say we're going 17, 18, 19, we get to 20, we'll say it's the 20 family. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, the 30 family. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, the 40 family. And we will just continue on like that, and we will go all the way up to 100, but that just gets him a little bit more used to counting by families. So, and then I also have just charts in here for each of the different families, and then of course these are for some of the other units of the curriculum. Alright, so going on, the last counting to 100 activity center I have in here is the number counting sorting. So this one is actually a place value one, so he has to count by tens and ones and then build the number with these number cards. So this is 42. And then he would look through his cards and he would find a 4 and a 2. So 4 tens, 2 ones makes the number 42. And he would just go on like that. So this one is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 76. So he'd put a 7. For the tens place, he'd put a 6 for the ones place, and he made the number 76. So this one, you take a card, and this is touch points, and then you match up the touch points, and then you write the number. So this one is 4 plus 3, so he can touch the touch points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my answer is 7. Where'd my marker go? There it is. Sorry guys, I'm a little frazzled because I had to run and take care of children. All right, so he would write the 7, and then he has to find the matching card. Now I have it up top here. This shows 4 plus 3, but there are a handful of different 10 frame cards in here that show the different combinations that he's going to be doing, and it has all the touch points on there so that he can practice those. And another way to make this interactive when you're practicing those touch points is to use manipulatives. So I have my erasers here, so I'm just going to use those, and he can, if you have a child that's really struggling, it's great to use the manipulatives instead of just touching with their finger, and they can count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 5 plus 4 equals 9. So they would write a 9, and then they would go ahead and flip through their cards and find the one that shows 5 plus 4. So if I can find that one somewhere, this one shows 5 plus 4. I also have Touchpoint edition cards that you have probably seen if you've seen my other videos. And this week I took out the regular ones with the smiley faces, and I also took out the ones with the apples since we're starting school. I figured September is good for apples. And I think I want to reprint these out on white paper. But when I made these last year, I just printed them out on the paper that I had available, which was colored paper. But I think they would look a lot better on white paper, but I ran out. But anyway, that's beside the point. I use these cards all the time, and we just put them on the table, and then we do our counting. So if you haven't seen how to do Touchpoint math, I'm going to leave a link below to that video. But basically, you touch these ones twice when they have the double circles. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my answer would be 8. And then you can have them use some magnetic numbers and find their answer. So this is just a set of magnetic numbers that we've had for a long time. And they would just go through here and find their answer. My answer is 8. And again, they can use manipulatives with this as well and just place them right over the circles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My answer is 8. I just noticed in here, I forgot to show you, this was another counting 200 activity. These are number strip puzzles. I think I took a picture of him doing these the other day. If I remember, I'll leave a link, or I'll leave that picture, I'll insert the picture into the video. I wanted to just show you, I have another activity for addition. This is Touchpoint Addition Flip, where they flip over the cards and they count the numbers and they have to fill it in on the mat. I showed this in a different video, so I won't go through it in this one, but it's another great one to use with Touchpoint. Okay, real quick, since this video is getting so long, the other addition activities I have in here are some addition puzzles that you can put together. These come from my Early Learners Math Curriculum, and so do these ones. This is a doghouse sorting, where you sort the addition cards. And then, oh, I did throw this in here. I just threw this in here because it's a new activity. And this one is doing even and odd numbers. I showed this in another video. Wait, did I show this? No, I didn't show this. I better show this in this video then. All right, so this one is practicing even and odd numbers. And we haven't done this week because I guess it got pushed down to the bottom. But it's even, oh, I think I showed this in another video. Well, anyway, you could pick either side. You could pick the girl's side or the boy's side. And then what they do is they find a number. So, and it says place the number card here. So they place it here. There are a bunch of number cards that have shoes on them. And really what they're doing is using the shoes to figure out even and odd numbers. And so then what they do is there's some little shoe cards here. And they're going to count out 5 shoes, because that's the number that they placed on their mat. So over here I'm going to count out 5 shoes, and I'm going to place them in pairs because shoes come in pairs. And let's slide you over so you can see that. Alright, so shoes come in pairs, so I'm going to place them in pairs. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shoes. Alright, now when I look at this, I notice that I have 5 shoes, but one of them is not paired up. So that means this is an odd number. Odd numbers do not pair up. So they can either color in their smiley face or use a manipulative to mark their answer. And then they would just go on. They would pick another card, and if they all paired up, then they know it's an even number. And it just teaches the kids that even numbers pair up. Even numbers well, they're even, and odd numbers do not. Hi friends, this is the last activity I'm going to show you today, and I just wanted to kind of introduce my son to fractions. We haven't really done anything with fractions. We didn't really do much of fractions in kindergarten. It wasn't really it's not a kindergarten skill, so we didn't do much on it. So I wanted to have a little bit of fun and introduce it when we started first grade. So what they do is this one I made has little robots, you can see, and this one I put, I'll leave a link below to it where you can get it, but you can also get it in my back to school fun bundle. And what they do is they take a card and they match up the fractions, and so they have to basically figure out what the fractions are. So I'm just going to pick an easy one. Alright, so this one is 1/2. And then they would just take their gears and cover it up. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 4/7. And I think I have my pieces right here in front of me. I would give them a few of them mixed up so that they don't just have their answers right there, obviously. And then this one would be 3/5. And I have it right there. Once they've covered them all up, they can go on to the next card and use their pieces to try to cover those are his activities for the first week of school for first grade. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye!